Hey everyone, this is Stacy with SF Johnson Consulting and Construction Services, and I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. It is Sunday, the 27th, and it's basically Christmas, right? But so today we're going to talk about framing and the basics of framing. And we are also, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to listen to previous video where I will be offering you our certification for all of our subscribers. We have the Basics of Plan Reading certification, which is actually 10 videos you have to watch, plus one, plus all of the views videos in order to take the test, which we'll send you, are actually quizzes, which we'll send you, and then the final. And if you pass, we will mail you or email you our certification saying you qualify now, based on, you being able to pass the test. And my tests are not easy. And so, what we're going to be offering now and look for it in the lineup is the basics of what we're doing now. Where, say, for instance, you want the basics of structural estimating. There, there are certain portions that are in a structural set, and so we will be going over all of those points in detail with an accompanying quiz. And you take the quiz, you pass. There'll be about 4 or so per subject matter. But you do have to be a subscriber and you do have to sign up at our website, sfjohnsonconsulting.com. But those are coming in, just look for those soon. So now we're just going to do a quick overview of the basics of framing. And we're talking about the architectural set framing, not structural framing. And what we're looking at here is an existing facility that had a renovation to some, existing stuff. So when we have the existing building, but we're also going to build some new partitions within it, which is what this is. We pan in and we see the call out. So basically, this is the existing. And when we have existing, you need to take good attention to the demolition plan, if there is one, because in the demo plan, it'll tell you to do da 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 and then prep for new paint. If it says that in the demo plan, then you can exclude it and then add it in the architectural set framing plan, because basically you'll have to prep walls and finish the drywall. Okay, so it really depends on how you want to break it down. With this one that we did, we put the prep of all new walls, because it was prep new walls, prep floors, prep for everything we demoed. So we put that all in the demo estimate. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. Okay, so what we have outlined here is our all of the existing walls, and then we have another existing walls and existing, and see, they kind of show you what's existing, which is in gray. So these are all walls that are there. We knocked out a few and then they're building. I don't know if this was existing, but if it is, it's gray, so we're just going to add it too, because these are walls that we need to prep if they're existing. And then all this would be new, but not the exterior wall, right? This exterior wall. So basically, they just build new partitions where we'll go to A over A 401 to look at all the new walls. And so when we talk about framing, we need to know what kind of new walls we're framing, right? They'll name them, they'll tell us P5, P4, P4A, P3, P3A, P2, P2A, da da da, all the way down. So we see the A portion is a 6, and we're all doing metal, right? Because if they were wood, it'd be 2 by 2 times 4, 2 times 6. Excuse me, that's my Thanksgiving cold my grandkids gave me. And so let's see. Here's all our new walls, okay? So you just need to keep in mind the height. Okay, so when you're doing your framing, you need to look at a section view to try to determine the height of your walls. You use your plan. We use this to determine the length, but we don't know the height of the wall. And so we have to be able to look at a section view somewhere to tell us the height of the wall, because we need that when we're talking about framing. But a lot of the typical height of a wall, excuse me, would be 10 feet. But where else you get the height of the wall is the reflective ceiling plan. It should. Yeah. It gives you, well, it doesn't give you the height of the wall, it gives you the height of the ceiling. Okay, so let me take that off. So, in your reflective ceiling plan, which is something also the framer needs to look at, because you may have some soffits or some, let's take all that off. You may have some soffits or some ceiling drywall you need to install. Okay, and so this is what this is. Okay, so I'm jumping ahead. So the floor plan is going to give it the existing walls. You can go through openings or don't go through openings and go through your door and window schedule and determine this area so you can deduct it from your framing, or just go through all of them, all of the openings, which we didn't do here, and consider it waste. It's really up to you. Okay, so here we got all of our existing walls. Then we had a few new P4, P2A, P5. Okay, so that's P5 and it's 10 foot high, so that was easy. And P4 on this. P4. Did it light up? Oh, over here. P4 on our equipment platform. P2A. Okay, so we had a few new walls on this, but our main one is our main walls are at the call out. Okay, so we'll go to the call out, and here are all of our P1, and we go through all the openings. Unless they're larger, wider than 16 feet, we just go through them. P1, P1A, P1. There's lots of P1s. Okay, so that was that call out from the floor plan. Right? Okay, so now we've added existing, and then the call out from the floor plan. Not a lot of new walls. Okay, framing, architectural set framing, and the enlarged office. Okay, now be mindful too that the framer also has to look at the reflective ceiling plan. Oh, let's take a look at the section views too, because you want to kind of determine the height of your walls. So it's like, if I didn't know, okay, I know I have at least a 10-foot height on the basic wall, and this is at our exterior. Okay, so let's go back to framer needs to make sure they go to the reflective ceiling plan and see if we have any ceiling framing that needs, or ceiling drywall, which is the case. And these two have section views, right? Because these are soffits, which are walls that come down from the ceiling. So what do we need? We need to know how far down and how they're built, right? So we have 4/A1111 to give us that section view, and I believe that's here. And here we go, 3 and 4. Okay, so we have the flat area that we see on the plan, and then we know that we have an additional little wall segment extending up 6 inches above the ceiling for that. And then this other one is, here's our flat area shown on the plan, and then we have basically 2. And it's like, well, where does that continue up to? We're going to assume it's going to go to the roof joist or braced, to the roof joist. So, we have to see, okay, roof joist is where this about 10 feet. So roof joist probably 16 feet. So this is probably going to be 6 feet high. Okay, so that's why you need those section views. Okay, in order to determine. Okay, so that's our second component that the on the framer's agenda. And then the framer needs to look at all of the door frames. Okay, so typically the framer is going to install all of the hollow metal. Here are the frames. We have some existing, and we have some hollow metal. Typical size on commercial is 3x7, but 6x7, then that's a double door. And storefronts are usually, you'll see manufacturer, whatever, storefronts, or in our case, it's overhead doors that are, and they come with their own frames and all that stuff. So you don't really have to be concerned, but you may want to either exclude it or give them a cost to install it, one of the two. The frame, but the installer of the overhead door manufacturer most likely does all of that. Okay, so the framing, A-plan framing, the floor plans, all the new walls, ceiling, reflective ceiling plan, all of the new ceiling and soffits, all of the new door frames. We don't really worry about window frames because those usually come with the windows. But as the framer, we're going to make sure the opening is there. That's the rough carpentry kind of thing, not so much us that we worry about in terms of framing. Okay, and that's pretty much it, okay, for the framer. So now we're going to look at the estimate. And let's go back and look at the partitions. I'm going too far. Here we go. Alright, so all the new walls, insulation on some, drywall just on one side, top track, short wall, whatever. Drywall on one side, and then some acoustical sealant, top and bottom on one side. Same thing here. Drywall on one side, no acoustical sealant, but at the bottom. And here we have drywall on both sides. Batt insulation and acoustical sealant, top and bottom. And so what do we do as far as totals? The framing is the length times the height. The insulation is length times the height. Drywall in this case is 2 times the length times the height, right? Because we have drywall on both sides. And the ceiling is 4 times the length of whatever this length of this wall. Okay, so those are just things you have to. Some walls are attached to the bottom of the roof deck. Some are not, and then braced. Okay, so the main concern is what's the height of the roof? Because these walls will probably go up 10 feet, 12 feet. So you need a good section view. What's my height? So I'll know what the height of the bracing is, 6 feet, 8 feet. Okay, and so then we get to our estimate, and all of those partitions, we break it down. The framing, the bracing, the drywall on one side or on 2 sides, one on each side, so we say that times 2. and then the level 5 finish, and the sealant, and every different type of wall. And I give them a section view if it applies or whatever. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Very complicated, but you know, as an estimator, you're supposed to look at your picture, and everything in your picture should be boom, boom, boom. Now, this from your measurements, cost book, whatever your base rate for a framer, right? Man hour totals cost book based on what I'm doing. Okay, and all the way down. Okay, so any questions on this framing? And remember, sign up for that so you can get your certification through me. And you already know you're going to be the best at everything you do. You don't name a company after yourself and end up lousy. Okay, don't ever do that. So if you have any questions at all, please email me at education@sfjohnsonconsulting.com. Please sign up. Please give me your thoughts. Please like. Please tell your friends. And I will see you at the next video. Thanks a lot.